Hello, I'm back with day 12 of my personal challenge. Today I'm just going to be decorating book covers. So if you're crafting with me, get some book covers, got some paintbrushes, some glue. I got a little bit of Holtz Distress crackle paint and some paint here and some fabric. And let's get started. So I already did my little sample pieces, and I'll show you how it came out. Now, this is this one right here. And what I did is I have a lacy old vintage tablecloth. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. And I glued the tablecloth onto the book, and here's the fabric right here. Well, it's tablecloth, vintage. And then I let it dry, and then I painted over, kind of watered down the paint just a little bit. Now didn't want it too thick, because if it's too thick you won't see the texture of the fabric. You know, it'll glob on top of it. So and then I just painted this because it's blue. And then what I'm going to do is, I have this beautiful vintage sheet material. Oh, it's gorgeous. And what I'm going to do, now I'm not going to finish this today. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. So I'll probably finish it tomorrow. But I'm just going to show you how to put it together. And I'm going to use this fabric, if you can see it, for the edging and the spine. And what I'll do tomorrow, I'll have both pieces done, and then I'll show you how I'll put the spine on and attach the fabric. And I'll probably put some type of little delicate lace or trim right here. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do with this one. Now, this over here is just a navy blue little book. And I wanted it very vintage and old and crackled looking. So I've never had good luck with crackle paints. I've had all kind of crackle paints. Now this is Holtz Distress crackle paint. And I think it worked maybe 7 years ago when I bought it, but since it's super, super thick, and it just didn't work for me. So it took me about 2 hours reapplying the paint. It just didn't work. So I think it's too old, or maybe could be too thick. I don't know. I never used it before. I had 4 other ones, and when I opened those up, all 3 of them were rock hard. They had dried up. So I looked on the internet, and to make crackle, basically you put a layer of paint, and then you put after it dries, then you put not a real thick, but a fairly thick coat of glue on top. And then you let that not completely dry, but where it's tacky, and then you put your paint over top. Of course, you want a darker color for your base color. Then you're going to put the glue on, and then you're going to put a lighter color on top. And that's what I did. And when I hit it with the dryer, you can see I love the crackle. And I didn't want it all over, so I basically put it kind of around the edges, a little bit in the center. I didn't want the whole thing crackled. And then I started sanding the edges and around, and sanding some spots here. And I'm going to have to seal this, and I'm going to seal it with something matte, because I don't know if you can see, but it's a little shiny where some of the glue is showing. So I want to matte it down. I want to make it very vintage. And I might, I don't know, add some more paint layering, like it's wood that has been, painted several times and peeled off. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Okay, I'm going to start with the lace one. Now I'm using Fast Grab Tacky Glue by Aleene's, only because I ran out of all my other glues. But it works good, and you need a good amount because you really want that fabric to stick to the book. And this is a little, actually I got it in the makeup department It's like a little rubber silicone spatula. I don't know how much makeup you would need to spackle on your face, but I use it as a glue spatula, or whatever you want to call it. I'm putting a good amount on. This is going to take, actually, if I glued this on and put the fabric on, I should wait, a while to paint it, because you really need the glue to dry. So I don't know if I'm going to paint it. I might paint it tomorrow. I don't know. Or would you really need to see me paint it? Because like I said, it really needs to dry before you let the glue dry and the fabric, really get a good adherence to the book before I re-wet it again and put paint on it. So and like I said, you want to make sure all the edges are really glued down. Okay, I think that's on there good. Smooth it out really good. I gotta figure out the right side. Okay. I don't know, I think I might put just a little bit more around this edge right here and a little bit around the edge, because I really want it to stick. Messy, messy. And it has like a little edging to it, and that's what I put at the edge of the book. And you want to make sure, really rub it really good. And like I said, especially around the edge. I think what I'm going to do too, I'm not going to be able to paint it today. I'll paint it tomorrow in the second part of the video. I'm just going to trim just a little. I'm going to fold it up, because I'll be covering the inside of the book either with fabric, I'm not sure yet, or maybe scrapbooking paper. Probably with fabric I'm going to cover it. I'm not sure. And I want to put some glue here. And just fold that up. And like I said, make sure you press it really good. Make sure that fabric is really stuck down. glue. So you have a nice finish edge. See how pretty that looks with the little scalloping or wave, whatever you want to call it. And it looks really pretty. I mean, you really don't have to paint it. It looks pretty. The book is beige and the lace is beige. So you really don't have to. It would look really pretty just with the, you know, with the vintage sheet fabric. It will look, you know, pretty like that. But I thought it would be a little bit different, and then you could, you know, paint it any color you want or leave it plain. So I'm going to cut this a little bit later, and I'm going to start on this one right here. Now, let's see. I'm just going to put a thin coat of this on, because like I said, I think it's too old, and it really doesn't crackle for me. And you're just supposed to brush it on, let it dry, and once it starts to dry, they said you'll start seeing the crackle, and it worked for me. But like I said, I have bought so many different brands of crackle, and I don't know if it's just me, but it never came out right. Never crackled. Oops, I'm trying to hold it and paint it. Hope everybody's having a good day. I have been busy, busy, busy. I'm going to put, I mean this, I know I've been saying this, I'm going to put these Christmas journals, and I also have some Christmas, Little Golden Book Christmas kits that I need. All I gotta do is put them up on Etsy, and that's all I need to do. Now I'm going to help this. Ooh, what a mess. Just got me a new thing of baby wipes. Wipe this glue off. And what's great about this little, well, it's a makeup brush or a makeup applicator. It's like silicone, so even if I forget to clean it off, you can just peel whatever paint, glue right off. So that's good. Come on. I'm going to help it along. You do need a glue gun. Not a glue gun, a heat gun. Go a little closer. Sure you can see. Now, it would be better if you just let it dry naturally on its own, but because of time, I can't do that. Okay. And I don't think I'm gonna put it everywhere. Like I just want to put it in spots like around the, I would think if, if you had a piece of wood or whatever, basically around the edging or the edges usually have more distressing on it. So I'm just gonna just dab it throughout. I'm just not gonna paint the whole book with the glue. Now, I've never used this glue before, but it is really, really thick. And I looked on the internet because I've never done the crackle with the glue before, and they were saying make sure you do it in one direction. And the thicker that you put the glue on, the bigger, the larger the, oops, I did it in the wrong direction. The larger the crackle will be. The thinner you put it on, the smaller the crackles will be. And it says let the glue not completely dry. You don't want it to completely dry. You want it to be, wait a couple of minutes, and then you want it to be tacky when you put the paint over top of it. I think that's enough. Now I'm going to help it along with the heat gun. Like I said, it would be better just to let it dry on its own. Whoops. Let me move these out of the way. I think it's still a little bit too wet. Just a couple of more minutes. And don't be rough with it, just lightly brush the paint over. Oops, a little bit too rough there. I don't care if it's not smooth. Like I said, my whole purpose is to make it look as distressed as I possibly can. Whoops. And aged and weathered. That's what I'm going for. And you know how when you see like a vintage door or windows, old wooden windowsills, and they have layer after layer after layer of paint? That's what I'm trying to achieve. So of course I need a few minutes for it to dry a little bit, and then I can do the heat gun on it and it'll start to crackle. And I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Now I'm going to put the heat gun, not too close. See if I can zoom in a little bit. And look, as soon as, can you see? As soon as I start the heat, you see it crackling. Ooh, it's working. Now, when I looked on YouTube, of course they said use Elmer's glue or wood glue, which I don't have either one of them, so I tried one of the glues. So you can always, you know, test out a little spot on your book if you don't have the supplies that they, you know, it calls for. So, oh, I love the crackle. Oh, it's beautiful. Now it really needs to dry because if you can see right here, you can see all of the glue underneath that's really still wet. Let me zoom out a little bit. Look at that crackle. Oh, it's so pretty. And then like where you see, like when this completely dries, you still see a little bit where the glue is between the cracks. So what I usually do is I put a little Tattered Angel Glimmer Mist on here and just rubbed it in so it soaked into the cracks, and so it would, you know, show more. I don't want to do that now because it is still really wet. Or you can use Distress ink, you know, and go over it. It really came out good. So tomorrow I'll darken it up with either some ink or some Tattered Angel spray, and then it needs to be sealed. It has to be sealed. So when I come back tomorrow too, if I have time, I'll do the spine for this too also. But I just want to cut the lace off of here, and then I'll be back tomorrow to show you how to make the spine and cover it. Just cutting this off extra. And you don't have to cut this straight because you're going to be covering it. Now with the vintage sheets, they tend to be on the thin side. So I'll probably back it with some white cotton material because it's a little see-through. That's the only thing about the sheets. They're a little bit see-through. See how pretty that looks? And let me see. You know what? I'm going to try to paint it today. Hopefully. Now, one thing I did wrong. I used, well, all my paints. I'm trying to get rid of all these craft paints. They're really old. They're either real watery, or they're real thick. So I used the pink for this and forgot I have to do another side of the book, and I ran out of the pink. So I'm going to try to make it, but I don't know how close I can get to that color. But I don't think it'll be noticeable, but I don't know. And like I said, I put a little bit of water in it just to, that was too much paint, but just to water it down just a little bit. Now let's see if I can kind of match. I think this is too dark. Let me try. Oh, not bad. Could be just a little bit lighter, but not bad. I wanted to think of a project to use up like all of my craft paints because they are really old. And I'm just going to add, I didn't have much water in there, just a little. And the other paint was really, really loose, so I think we'll be all right. And I'm just going to brush it off. What I want to do is kind of scrub. I don't want to put it on too thick because, like I said, it will, you want to see the texture of the fabric. And you know, acrylic's kind of tendency to look plasticky, so I'm scrubbing because I'm trying to get in between the open lace and get the back of the book. And then if you're crafting with me and you get to this step, you really need to let it dry overnight. I wouldn't do anything else to this book until you give it at least 24 hours for it to really dry. Because like I said, if I wasn't doing a video, then I wouldn't have painted it today. I probably would have waited. And I'm going to put a little bit on the spine right here, or the edge of the book. Okay. I will be back tomorrow, and I'll finish up the 2 books. Hopefully I'll finish up the 2 books. If I can't cover and make the spines for both, I think I should be. I'll do that tomorrow. And I'll put the lining inside. Either I'm going to choose fabric or scrapbooking paper. I haven't decided yet. So I will be back tomorrow. Have a good evening, and be safe. Bye.